You are still a child. You're only 14 years old at the time of these offences. But most right-thinking people would struggle to comprehend that what you did over the course of just 3 days in January last year were the actions of a child. Beginning on the 19th of January 2025, you engaged in a campaign of serious violence against different people, culminating in the fatal stabbing of Leo Ross. Leo was an innocent schoolboy who was just on his way to meet a friend in the park. And just after 3:30 in the afternoon, on the 21st of January 2025, you stabbed Leo with a knife and left him to die. Leo was only 12 years old. The devastation that you have caused to so many lives is hard to comprehend, and for those who knew and loved Leo, almost too great to bear. You have robbed Leo of his life and his future. You've taken him away from those who cared for him. We've heard this morning from spoke movingly and eloquently about the lovely boy who loved crystals, Pokemon, animals and gaming. A lovely little boy who loved learning, collecting and exploring, who had a great sense of humour and who was a dream to be around. A normally sweet boy with impeccable manners and a massive heart. What you did to your other victims is no less shocking. All of your offending took place in Trittiford Mill Park, in Yardley Wood, Hall Green, adjacent to Priory Road in Birmingham. The park is not far from where you lived, and you used to frequent the park on your bike. Is now aged 83. She was 82 years old last January, but still independent and able to go for a walk in her local park with the help of a walking stick. She was in the park around lunchtime on Sunday the 19th of January. When you approached her from behind and pushed her forcefully down and forward into a ditch, found herself soaking wet up to her knees when she tried to stand up. As she did so, she remembers you saying, quotes, "I tried to drown you, but now I'm going to kill you instead." End quotes. Upon saying that, you started to beat her around the head with it. She tried to defend herself by putting her hands up, and you hit her on her hands instead. You caused multiple injuries, including several bruises to her face, head and eyes, a deep cut to her head which required stitches, a broken nose and black eyes. She also suffered a fractured rib, and the bones in 2 of her fingers on her left hand had been broken into several pieces. These fractures required a 3.5-hour operation and fixing with pins. Savagery required to inflict such injuries on a defenceless elderly lady as she lay on the ground is hard to imagine. After your violent attack, you said to Miss Mann, "You will tell on me." And then you left the scene. Before leaving the park, you came across a man walking his dog. You said to him that there's an old lady in the water and she needs help. At first sight, it might appear that you were overcome with remorse and wanted to be done to her. In fact, this behaviour appears to be part of a pattern whereby you alert others to what you've done, perhaps because you derive some enjoyment from witnessing the havoc that you yourself had created. Fortunately, and managed to call for help. When the paramedics arrived, Miss Mann was shocked, disoriented, barely conscious and suffering from hypothermia. In her victim personal statement, she describes the pain she suffered and the many months it has taken her to recover physically and mentally. Later that day, you encountered another younger local lad and told him that, quote, "an old man had been beaten half to death with a walking stick," close quotes. Initially, you said somebody else was responsible, but within minutes you admitted that you were the attacker. Your description of beating a person half to death, which is precisely what you did do, reveals that you're very much aware of what you did and how serious it was. The very next day, the 20th of January 2025, you attacked again. This time your victim, 72. She was also just out walking in the park at around 3:30 in the afternoon, Before leaving the scene, she heard you say, "I'm sorry," although that would not appear to be a genuine statement of regret, as you made no effort to assist your victim. And around her eye and the cut to her head, scans showed 3 rib fractures and a fracture to the top of her left femur. The rib fractures had caused her to suffer a collapsed lung. She required surgery, including a hip replacement. The attack has made this independent, active woman feel nervous about going out alone. The injuries have had long-lasting effects, including numbness, pain, and constant fatigue. She feels that at her age she will never recover the level of fitness that she had before the accident. By the next day, the 21st of January 2025, a pattern is clearly established, whereby you'd be riding around the park looking for a suitable victim. In a cowardly fashion, you chose another elderly lady who was also just out for a walk at around 3 p.m. that afternoon. This time you walked up behind her. She turned around and spoke to you, asking if you wanted her to move aside so you could get past. She then turned back to face the direction she was going when you pushed her from behind, causing her to fall forward onto her hands and knees and roll over onto her shoulder. You did nothing to help her. Instead, you just walked away. Miss Copleston was in some distress, but fortunately she was not seriously injured. 2 other passers-by saw that she was in distress and helped her back to her car. You rode past them on your bike, and as you did so, you turned and smiled, no doubt feeling quite pleased with yourself at the trouble that you had caused. Leo Ross had left school and was walking in the park to meet a friend at their usual meeting spot near a particular tree. The 2 friends were on their phone making the arrangements to meet up to just after 3:15. Leo did not answer his phone when he failed to turn up at the meeting point, and his friend called him. This is between 3:25 and 3:29 p.m. that afternoon. By this time, you had already stabbed Leo and left him to die. Leo was, as I've said, aged just 12. Although only 2 years younger than you, Leo was much smaller than you. He was clearly a vulnerable little boy, which is no doubt why, in your usual cowardly fashion, you chose him, that a young lad had been stabbed. Some of those you told tried their best to help Leo. Others went to get or called for help. A 999 call was made at 3:39 p.m. You did not flee. Instead, you stayed in the area and watched what was going on until the arrival of the emergency services. One of the first officers on the scene was PC Niazi. You spoke to him and told him that you had been the first to find Leo, already injured and lying next to the path, and that you had alerted others to call the emergency services. Playing the innocent hero, you even gave the police your name and address before you went on your way. Once again, it would appear that you derived some sort of pleasure or enjoyment from seeing the consequences of your actions unfold. You were only thinking of yourself. You certainly showed no concern for any of your victims. You were caught on CCTV close by, where the police found the knife which you had tried to throw away. The paramedics who arrived on the scene did their best to try and save Leo's life, but the stab wound was too severe. You'd stabbed Leo in the abdomen deep enough to sever a large blood vessel, returning blood to his heart. The wound was 8 centimetres deep. Despite efforts to repair the blood vessel, Leo could not be saved, and he was pronounced dead at 7:30 p.m. that evening.
I was probably here around about 3.
Okay.
3, 1,
Yeah.
I was, because I just come out every now and then run with one. I was riding because there's the mechanic shop up there.
Okay.
I was going to come through here because that's leads out where that is. But I seen him, and then I seen this woman, she was walking down, so I told her to call you guys. Yeah, so I told her to call you guys. Then I went to get some help from different people, and that's all I know about it. He was laying there like that when I got here, and that's all I know about it.
So you've not seen anyone near him, or you've seen him land as he...
Okay. Okay. Can I just take your name?
So just to confirm, you've been riding along here around 3ish.
Yeah.
Was it 3 bang on, or was it after 3? Because it's now
Can't really remember, but it was around the
near to 4. You've then seen the lady in...
mark. Okay. No, I've seen him, and then as I was looking at her, I didn't touch him because that could put me in that case.
Okay.
But I was seeing her, she was walking there, so then,
This lad here came to...
yes, so I came and told her to call the police, and then I went and got him, and then him.
Yes.
Okay.
This was a tragic and random act of violence which killed an innocent young boy. We welcome the sentence of Leo's attacker to life in prison. We will likely never know why he decided to attack Leo, who was completely innocent. We hope Leo's family can take comfort in this, even though nothing can bring him back. Leo's mother, Rachel Fisher, said, "My son Leo was the sweetest, most kind-hearted boy. He didn't have a bad bone in his body. My baby's life was stolen for no reason whatsoever. My life will never be the same again without him, and he will be loved and missed forever." Leo's foster family, the Westons who are behind me now, have said that no sentence can ever undo or compensate the loss of Leo, nor return him to us. Our family will live with this pain forever. Leo was taken from us for no reason in a senseless and unprovoked attack of violence. He was deeply loved and should still be here laughing, living and sharing life with us. We miss him every day. Our world has been torn apart, and his absence has left a permanent void in our family, one that can never be filled.